So soy, become the motor. Hey folks, and welcome to another Soy spikeboarding tutorial. Here we are at Cardiff by the sea, which is part of Encinitas in California. And we're leaving our host home and headed down, gonna sort of meander through these really nice roads that are running parallel to the Pacific Ocean, and just demo a little bit for the first 2 minutes on how to get down these hills. So you might say, well, he's on a board, why don't you just slide down? Why don't you just haul ass down uncontrollably, crash at the bottom? Anyway, all those things that seem obvious to boards and skateboarders aren't that obvious for spikeboarding, because what we're going to do is we're going to cadence brake down this hill. We're going to watch our backside a little bit, and we're going to switch, drift, carve on this board and just cadence brake. Very simple. Something that people have been doing for many, many years, but we do it ambi-pedal on both sides of the board and sort of get down these steeper inclines with a little bit of caution. And we're getting ourselves over to Glen Park. So Glen Park is a tiny little park with one stop sign that you need to pay attention to, and that's it. It's probably one of the fastest downhill little circuits that we've ever been on. About 2/3 of it is downhill, and there's only about 1/3 of it that's work. And there you can see our shadow of our camera bike. That's how we get these videos made. Put a little action camera underneath the saddle and keep yourself framed well, and that's how we do it. So there's Cardiff by the sea, the downtown little section, and the Pacific Ocean will be off there to your left, to the athlete's right. And we're just headed over to this little park just to do a little bit of work. It's a Sunday morning, I believe. In any event, there's not a lot of people around, and that's what you want to do if you want to do some small loops constantly in spikeboarding. Try to pick some non-key times when there's not too much traffic around. And here we are. This is Glen Park. This is the high side, and the little climb is right there behind that little lump down to the Pacific. And you're going to need quite a bit of skateboarding skill on this loop. So don't come here if you're just a little beginner. The pavement is a little bit broke up, little crocodile, and it'll take a little bit there's a little bit of foot drag there. It'll take a little bit for us to get coordinated with our camera bike. As you can see there, we're sort of traveling at 2 different rates of speed. And if you backtrack there a little bit, you'll notice that there is a pothole right there at one of the fastest sections. But this is going to flatten out just a little bit before the stop. We're going to make the stop and then drop in and then do a little more work. And there was a local out here, and he began to time us. Of course, he'd never seen anybody spikeboarding around Glen Park, and so started to scream out the times and said, you're doing 1:37 or something like that. So you make the little stop right there, and then you slip right into that descent, and then again it's a fast right here. And here begins the work. Here begins the work that you're going to do, and you can do it in the 2 strokes of spikeboarding, and that's the Cubi cross that you're seeing there. And then in a minute we'll transition straight into a stand-up spike stroke. The Cubi cross delivers a lot of power because you're thrusting on both sides of the board equally, and you're going to switch and do it on both sides. And there's no dominant side kicking. Each leg is going to become dominant, and each position is going to become dominant. You're going to kick from the front, you're going to kick from the rear, and so that right leg will kick from the back and it'll kick from the front. You're going to switch it up, and you're going to learn all this stuff. It doesn't take all that long. Then about 12, 13 months, you've got it all dialed in. The stand-up spike really begins to dial in right around 9 months, and then you start working on your switch kicking, and then you start finishing your stand-up spike sessions with 1-arm action, and then you start pulling in the Cubi cross stroke. There's the stand-up spike stroke. and boom, 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 made short order of that little loop. And we'll do about 4 loops here, and it's really fun to do small loops. We're sort of keeping the brakes on here a little bit because we're trying to gauge the speed of the camera bike as well. So we quite haven't found the fastest line through there for the bike and the board. Both riders were new to this loop, so they're just trying to figure that out. We'll do a couple more loops. You might see that turn taken a little more optimally on the next couple of laps. So as you come down towards the stop, put a little cadence brake on it, keep it in check, and then just slip in to the traffic after you've made that stop. There's a stand-up spike stroke, and of course it hauls ass way faster than the Cubi stroke, which ends at around 19 miles an hour. You just can't get the legs going around that fast. So armed cadence can travel a lot faster than leg cadence, and therefore you can stand up spike probably up to close to about 24, 25 miles an hour before you need to get into a tuck. And there's some good climbing there with some good switching, and your cadence is gonna probably be around 4, 3 to 10, something like that. It really depends on what you're climbing. A little quick 3 cadence on that side, and as you see, we're a little bit guilty there of not keeping it perfectly even. But you should try to keep it even in the beginning. You really try to keep the count and count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep them perfectly even and straight into a stand-up spike. And as you can see, it's a fast little loop, and the climb feels like a third of the loop, and the descent is feels like 2/3, but it's really kind of half. But the loop is nice, and again, this braking is happening because we're running into the back of our bike, and the bike is taking the turn a little bit slower. So there was the line, I think, on the inside, in between that black car and the pothole. Next time we'll zip through a little better. So coordinating the 2 speeds of the athletes a little rough. These pictures are absolutely beautiful here early morning at Cardiff by the Sea, and workouts like this, you do about 20 laps of this park, and you'll be hitting hay pretty good every night, and you can get these out in the morning. Probably be the best time. You wouldn't want to do these at night around here. There's probably not too many street lights, and people might not be expecting it. So also we're going to show you more videos out on the Coast Highway. There's plenty of spiking to do out there, and if you head down a little further south, there's some good climbing to do Torrey Pines, and there you see how quickly you can get uphill using a Cubi Cross. There's the stand-up spike to polish it off. It's really nice to CXC the climb. CXC is the acronym, the 3-letter indication for the Cubi Cross, and SUS is the indication acronym for the stand-up spike stroke. As you see, once you get the 2 of them going, it's makes light work of climbs, and it replicates cross-country skiing, of course. So cross-country roller skiing, you could be out here cross-country roller skiing. See what happens on this turn, and we missed the bicycle this time. So there you have it. Missed the bike completely, so we had to gather ourselves around, turn around. We're back on the circuit. But the idea is to show you guys how lovely spikeboarding is on a small loop, and you guys might have loops like this coming into that stop again. You might have loops like this close to your house no matter where you are, and what you want to do is find high sides and low sides where you don't need to do much braking at all. And this one, if you take that bicycle out, the only braking that you have to do is right there at that stop sign, but it's already flattened out and it's a little rough anyway, so you wouldn't want to be flying around through there. Plus you got to stop at that stop sign. Folks, follow all the traffic laws and behave just like a bicycle or a car, and you'll be fine. So notice how there is no tricks and no flips, and everything that's happening here is all about fitness. We're popping off a few connector strokes there when we're at the rear, and we go into a stand-up spike from the Cubi Cross stroke. Boom, just like that. That's when you're connecting the two strokes and you're doing it on the same side that the skateboard spike is living on. And the spike tip at the bottom of that is the same that's being used at World Cup, cross country roller ski, NCAA, all Olympians cross country roller ski using the same spike tip on the bottom of that skateboard spike. And we're zipping around again. As you see, we finally coordinated that turn. Finally, once and for all, came through on the right line. Just takes, it's just a question of getting the right line. You want to figure out the right lines on your loop. Once you get to know your loop really well, you'll have a really good time. So Glen Park, we missed Glen Park. What a lovely little place to do spikeboarding loops and essentially your cross-country skiing. And that was the last time we came around here, and the traffic's starting to thicken up a little bit. Everyone's going to work. It's got a little more traffic. We're going to come around here one final time. And as you can see, when you destabilize a little bit, just keep the stroke going. Jam that skateboard spike into the pavement and drop that leg and power forward, and momentum will keep you going. So a body in motion tends to stay in motion, and sometimes just keeping the motion going will autocorrect you and keep you going. And there's the Pacific Ocean right back there. It's lovely to have the Pacific Ocean close by, and know that there's a ton of cross training available out in that ocean with all manner of sports, and this sport will help you cross train for them. And of course, if you're in middle school or high school, this is a sensational way to get incredibly fit for all your field sports during your off season. So let's see how we take this line. We should take it successfully. It should happen, no problem. There's the line. Everybody got it. The bike got it. The spikeboarding athlete nailed it as well. And as you can see, these lines start to tighten up, and you can take them a little tighter as soon as you begin to get to know them. So always do your loop slowly. Begin to find the right lines for them. There's a little bit of a cadence break. I'm going to drop with a heel. Just take a quick look at that foot, and we're dropping with the heel. And coming to a stop and slipping right in. And this is the final lap. The traffic is starting to get a little thicker now. More people around town doing their thing. And so we're going to be out of here, folks. So we hope you've enjoyed this little video of a small high side, low side loop. Find them around your house and begin to use them, and you'll like doing 20, 30, 40 laps around them quite a bit. And the essence of spikeboarding is climbing, and stay tuned for some more videos. There's a street here called Chesterfield. We're going to go over there and climb it. So thanks a lot for tuning in, folks. Spike hard, spike often, and we will see you at the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Spikeboarding, the sport of balanced strength.